So I've started recording and I welcome you all to the 19th Youth Talent and Career Fair that is organized by Impact Wireless Digital, which is a youth-facing mentorship program focusing on skills development for the youth to remain competitive in the rapidly changing global technology marketplace. And I'm your host, Nelson Adero from Taita Taveta University. So this is the 19th Youth Talent and Career Fair, and it is on the topic horizontal productivity skills for remaining relevant and competitive in the fast changing global technology marketplace. Part one addressed PowerPoint skills, which you need to present effectively and communicate to a broader audience, making an impact. Part two, last week, Sunday, covered Word document and how you can use Word documents effectively. And today, which is the last part of this horizontal productivity skills series, part three, we are going to look at Excel. And as I said before, these sessions are introductory. For depth and detail, you need a full class on research methods. But this complementary version is just giving you the tips so that you can appreciate the power in your hand when you are able to use these tools effectively. So they are mainly an eye-opener series. And for greater detail, we'll have to organize special sessions. So today, let me open Excel and just show you some quick tips on how you can make an impact using Excel. And you know, nowadays, there is this thing we call software as a service. You don't need to really buy Microsoft Office on a DVD. You can subscribe and pay annually. That is Office 365. The advantage of that is that you always have the most updated software, and it is hosted somewhere on a server in the cloud so that you can get real-time updates. So I'm going to open Excel. I know some of you maybe have Excel 2003. Some may have Excel 2010. But this one I'm using is the latest. But there's no much difference. You'll be able to follow later what we are able to do together. So I'm going to share the screen briefly so that you can see some of the how it looks like and some of these tools you can be using often. So just a minute, I'm going to share the screen. So let me know once you are able to see the screen I'm sharing. Can I get any voice feedback if you can see the screen I'm sharing? Can anyone give me
The screen is
feedback if you
shared
can
now.
see?
Still loading. Yes, now you can see.
Okay, if you can see, then what I want to show first is how to present your work, maybe to your employer, to your supervisor. So most of the time when you are using Excel, you must know from the beginning that these lines you see here are not going to be shown when you print out the page. No one will see these lines when you print out the page. So for you, if you are keen on showing the lines, then you must select, for example, if I had Nairobi and COVID cases, this was some time back, not now. So Nairobi had this number of COVID cases all the way to Samburu. And you can see we have here we have county and COVID cases. Then Nairobi all the way to Samburu. Of course, you should add a column here by right clicking. You know, when you press on that letter for the column, you press on it, it will select the whole column, and when you insert, it will insert to the left. And so you can also let your employer or supervisor know very clearly that here you want to talk of the number, and then it is better to put that number here so that we can know this number 1 all the way to 47. And how do you do that? Automatically, you should put 1 there. Then you should double click this one to size it to what will fit that number. Then always use the bottom right corner. Bottom right corner. Press and hold and come down up to the last one. And by default, you'll see that number 1 replicated, but you want it to be consecutive. So you see it is already giving you this tip that you can do something more. So with that down arrow, come to fill series. Filling series will now make it serial so that you see number 47 is Samburu. And of course, we have 47 counties in Kenya. So you are okay. You don't need to count one by one if there are 47 and time is running out. Maybe your boss wants this thing to be ready in a few minutes. So you can see that can save your day. You can also choose number and then press shift up to the last cell there. Then I come and make it bold because that is the heading. And you see they are now bold. Again, it is proper to have Excel resize for you the cells so as to fit it to content. So you can press the first top left and then shift key and then the lower bottom, and it selects everything. And then when I come to home, you'll see this format. When you tell it row height, auto fit to row height, you see what it is doing. So Usianigishu, which was taking too much space, is now taking space that is just fit for Usianigishu. And then come to column again, you want the columns to fit. Column fit, you see what it has done to this column, so it is not too wide. That is working smart, and you are going to present something that is smart. Then I want us to, you want to put the lines. So again, press on the first item here, then shift key and press bottom left. It is selecting everything. Now come to home again and see it is showing you that you can draw lines the way you want. So if I only want the outer border, I come to this one. So when you print this one out, one will only see the outer border. But if you want all the cells with these lines, then you should select all. But when you select all, it will be like the traditional square ruled exercise book, which is not easy on the eye. So you may also say, no, I just want the the bottom borders double line. You have all those options here, which you can select. And if you click on any of this, you'll see what is getting reflected as you present your work. So that is one way of ensuring that you can modify your presentation style, and when you print it out, it should come out well. But again, uh, when you print out Excel just like that, you may be embarrassed because it won't print out the way you see it here on the screen. You may find that it is cutting off some sections and it is not fitting on one page properly. So maybe you printed out a list of student names and their marks, and because you are just assuming that the way it is on the screen, if you fill the screen all the way up to here, then when you print out, it will be like that. Then when you print out, you realize that it is cutting off and then putting the marks for student number one on the second page, and matching them becomes a problem. And when you present your work, depending on the mood of the person you are presenting it to, you may be embarrassed. So this is what you must do before you print any Excel page. So you come to view and go to page break view. Go to page break view. So come to page break view so that you can see how it will print out, and you can see all this will be on page 1, then page 2, West Pokot and Samburu. What if you want all of them to be on page 1? What should you do? So when you are here, for example, you can see the page margin like this one is ending here. Let's see what happens if you drag it down. You can see now it will allow Samburu to be on page 1. But you see that page 1 will capture even this information on country Kenya and Tanzania. So you don't want that one to appear on page 1. And if you do that, you see now you have eliminated these ones, they will be on page 2. So when you are going to your printer, you are just going to command your printer to print page 1 only, and your boss will be able to see clearly number, country, and COVID cases on page 1. And that is, go also check the page layout. That is page layout orientation. That is when it is portrait. If you do it landscape, you see now it will, page 1 will only have up to Nandi County, and page 2 will begin from Marsabit County. But you want everything to be on page 1, so I'll just go back to portrait. So these are some of the skills you can learn. And if you just print out all pages, you will see your boss will be able to get page 1 and a blank page number, not a blank page number 2 actually, but page number 2 will have, yeah, this is also good because maybe page 1, you want to have COVID cases by county in Kenya, and page 2, you want to show these 3 East African countries and their populations estimated as of now, of this year. Now you can see this is a very smart way, and it's already one productivity skill. No one will sit down to teach you this during a normal lecture. Even if it is communication skills, no lecturer will have this time to take you through this. And these are sometimes, again, you cannot blame your lecturer because lecturers are also learning. Everyone is a student in this world. So even lecturers may still be learning how to use some of these productivity tools. And this is why it has to be an extracurricular activity for skills development that can only be passed on effectively through such forums as these ones we are holding frequently. So I think that is already, we can put a take on how to format your Excel document before you present it to your boss or supervisor. and to be certain that when they print out, you send to them and they print out that work, it will be ordered according to page number, and you'll have the elements that you want to be there well put, well laid out on the page without surprises. If you don't come to page view, page break view, you may be surprised what you'll be printing out won't obey what you expect. So that is already on formatting, just as brief as that, but very focused, very pinpointed, and it is already setting you many miles ahead of your peers who do not attend such mentorship forums. Then the second one I want to show is on many a time I find STEM students, those are students in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, not using Excel effectively to calculate angles. For example, I'm in the surveying profession where we do a lot of trigonometry. You cannot do any survey work without having to deal with angles. So you find some people not using Excel effectively to compute uh, trigonometric ratios, and you wonder why. The reason is because many of them think that Excel takes the normal degrees, minutes, and seconds that we are familiar with, but Excel works with radians. So we have one famous trigonometric identity, and I'll ask for interaction in this case. I want you to give me one of the most famous trigonometric identities you know. I think this is right from secondary school. So anyone can volunteer to give me one trigonometric identity you know. I think Paul must be knowing one of them. In fact, Paul should be knowing one of them, and Kaifa should be knowing one of them, and Emmanuel. So just give me randomly any trigonometric identity that you know. And we want to test it.
Can you come up with the question again?
Give me one trigonometric identity you know of.
Okay. Currently, I'm not familiar with them.
Emmanuel, you must be familiar with one.
Can I say the complex one or the simple ones?
That depends on the eye of the beholder. So you may think it is simple, but it is complex to others. So begin with the simple.
So, for example, you can say the reciprocal ones, like sin theta is equals to 1 over cos theta.
Okay,
That's
1 over
the
cos.
simple one.
You are saying sin theta is
Sin
equal
theta
to?
is equals sin theta is equals to 1 over cos theta.
Is it true? I think 1 over cos theta is something else.
Cosec, I mean cosec.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, cosec.
I know we have cosec and sec. I thought sec theta is the one which is 1 over cos theta, and then 1 over sin theta is cosec theta. But
Sin theta is equals to 1 over cosec.
then, okay, then let me, but you know this one offhead. What is the sine of 30 degrees? It should be equal to?
Sin that is
Yeah.
0.5.
Yeah, 0.5. So let's say you have 30 degrees. Some people would go for 30 degrees when you are doing surveying. Then you want to find the sine here and its cosine here. And we know for 30 degrees, sine should be 0.5, but cosine is, I think, 0.866, something like that. So, you know, you must put is equal sign for for it to be calculated is equal to sine in bracket, and you'll be surprised if you just put 30 like that. You see, it is giving you a negative value, which is not really 0.5. Then if you come here, you say cosine, and that one, you see they are not right because you are not using radians, and that is why it has to be in radians. So I want to change this one to radians. How do you change degrees to radians? You know very well that 180 degrees is equivalent to pi in terms of radians, because a whole circle is 2 pi in radians. So it means to change degrees, any x degrees to radians, it should be equal to that number of degrees you multiply by pi and you divide by 180. So it means if I want to change it to radians, it has to be, now let me write here radians. So it is whatever is here, and you multiply, which is a star in Excel, you multiply by pi, and pi, maybe some of you don't know, pi in Excel is pi, then brackets with nothing inside. So, and then you divide by 180. 180, it is BODMAS, so there's no problem by writing it that way. So you see in radians, it is coming to be like this. So, you know, you can always copy this, and Excel is very intelligent. When you copy this formula here and paste, you see it is sensing that what you did here was the sign of what was to the immediate left, and that is what it is repeating here. And then you can also copy what you did here, and you copy down here, paste. Excel is very intelligent, and you see now we have got it right. But again, like any other good STEM student, you cannot present your work like this to your supervisor or boss. You must be consistent in terms of decimal places. So normally, like for example, in surveying, would require like 4 decimal places a good number of times. So you select both of these and right click and go to format. And after going to format, you come to, you make it a number, not general, and then increase to 4 decimal places. We don't need the 1,000 separator because this is a decimal fraction. And then you just say, okay, after that, and you'll be very happy. Your boss will also be very happy with you. Now you can see if you are given maybe GPS coordinates, and you know your GPS device maybe was set up to capture the coordinates in degrees. So when you have to do some calculations with these trigonometric ratios, you'll find it very useful because you'll be able to change them to radians immediately and get the ratios effectively. So Emmanuel, you must now be happy that the sine of 30, which is here, is now giving you the 0.5 you expect. And the sine of the cosine of the same is this one, 0.866, which you can also get from your calculator or your tables. And if I change this to 60, you will see what happens automatically. Now the formula is repeating what should be done. And now the sine of 60, you know very well, is this, and the sine of the cosine of 60 is this one. This is because you know very well that sine theta is equal to the cosine of bracket 90 degrees minus theta. That is what is happening here. So with that, I can check off the second objective, which was to show you how to work with these common angles and trigonometric identities in Excel. So you don't really need to struggle so much the way some people do. You are given an assignment to do, you have Excel, but you still do it using your calculator. Then you just write by hand the answers here. The decimal points are not consistent, and it can really be disconcerting to a supervisor who is keen on excellence, or a boss who is keen on excellence. And you realize most of these bosses in industry have trained themselves to be excellent because they work with time. And if they employ you, they want ready work that they can present. So maybe your boss has a board meeting somewhere, and today, for example, is Sunday, and that board meeting is beginning tomorrow at exactly 8. Then you ask for the weekend to finish your work. Then you present to your boss something that is not presentable. So these two skills you have learned will help you to present print-ready results from Excel and also consistently produce something that is consistent in terms of decimal numbers. Now, what I've shown you here will also help you here. Look at the population of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania this year. And you can see very well that if you just got them from somewhere and wrote them without formatting, let me show you. If they were general, for example, look, very hard to read. How will your boss read that one? Like for Kenya, you want your boss to start counting the zeros? No, you want to make it easier for the boss, so you have to format, and there are numbers, but they don't have decimals. We don't have decimals for people, so reduce this to 0, but use the thousand separator so that your boss can read it very well. And you see now you are smart. It will make a big difference for you because your boss will not go to your degree certificate and check if you got first class honors or second upper or lower. Even if you got a pass, but you are now at workplace, you are diligent and you are making use of these skills, you will be promoted very fast, and you don't need to have a title in the company as like assistant production manager or what. There are some bosses I know who pay some people who don't have enough titles, but they pay them handsomely, even bonus, because they are highly productive. And this is one way of bridging that skills gap, because upon graduating from college, you find that you are so raw in these productivity skills, and you won't really have time to enroll to be taught these things. And so this is something to take very seriously. So you can see I have those ones, and I can also sum them up very easily. So, and Excel is very intelligent. When you use auto sum, it will sum up what is up there, which is a number, excluding the text. And you see this is the population of Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania combined. And if I want to get the ratios, like your boss is asking you, what is the what percentage does the population of Kenya make up of East Africa? So you don't need to go to your calculator again. You can do like this and divide by the total. And one thing you have to know, you will be dividing everything here by the total. If you leave it like this and you pull down like this, it won't be correct, because Excel will be divide this by now the second by 0 here, and then the third one is dividing by 0 here. That is why you see there's a division by 0. So what should you do? You must make this summation column a constant. And how do you make it a constant in Excel? Very easy. By confining the alphabetical number, the alphabetical letter there in $2 signs. So you put the $sign here, and you put the $sign, and then you see I'm putting it from the formula bar. After clicking on that cell, you put in the formula bar. Now this is forcing Excel to keep this number constant, the one I'm making bold here. So when you are now pulling down this one, it will be dividing it by that number without shifting to the empty shells. And this should be percentages. So you write for your boss here very well, percent, and then you select all of them, right click, format as I've said, then go to percentage. I want them to be percentage, and I don't really need 2 decimal places. I just want to talk of 0 or no decimal place. Yeah, so you can confidently assist your boss or your supervisor to stand before the audience, to be great in the boardroom, and say the population of Kenya as of this year is already more than a part of the population of the entire east of the three countries in East Africa, that is Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, with Tanzania having the largest share of 38%, and Uganda coming third at 28%. And then you can also have a check here to see if they are adding up to 100%, auto sum. And yeah, that is a good check. You should always check your work. And that one gives you the confidence to present this work to your boss that you have finished the work and it is presentation ready. So let me see something on the chart here. Kindly go through the percent bit again. I've lost my connection. The percent bit, we said you do this, you select all of them. You know, you select by clicking on the first one, then the shift key on your keyboard, then the last one, then you right click, then you go to format cells, then you choose percentage, and it will change that decimal fraction into a percentage. And then we also said you should format, and here 0 decimal place, because I don't think your boss will be interested in the decimal place. So that is why you put it at 0 decimal place, which was like this 0. And you see it is now like that. And this 100% is a check. And there are also logical operators in Excel, which you can use. And let's say you want to, let me select these 3, and just to show you this format. No, there's another format here, conditional formatting. And you want to color, maybe you're playing Scrabble and you want to say, highlight cells if they are less than, no, greater than. So you want to highlight any country with a population greater than 50,000, no, 50 million, it should be highlighted red. You see the way it is doing it. So if you add all the, I think 55 countries in Africa, and you want your boss to immediately see the countries that have populations more than 50 million, you see Excel is already highlighting them for you. So for example, if you're playing Scrabble with your peers and you want to know, maybe here you have Waruru, Imelda, Kevin, Emmanuel, Francis, Adeja, Christine, Paul, and you want to say we are playing Scrabble and we are now putting the scores on Excel, and we want to know who will have garnered points beyond 200. Then you can highlight and use that conditional formatting so that you may choose to highlight them in red or green or blue. And the ones who will be scoring lower than 200, you give a different color in red, and it will just be showing automatically. Very good for summarizing your results immediately and presenting to the person who will be giving presents to those who will have won the game. And so you see, Excel is something you can also use for entertainment. I've been using it a lot, playing Scrabble with my peers. And this red, we usually laugh at it, we still on the red because you just see the cells that are highlighted red if they have less than 100 points, for example. And those who are in the green have more than 100, and Excel does it automatically for you. So that one we can say I've also checked the third objective. I've checked it off because I wanted to show you some conditional formatting and how to present these large numbers with 1,000 separator and how to change to percentage immediately. Now again, and this is now the last part, maybe for these Nairobi things, Nairobi County and the rest, maybe, no, let me show it using this part. I want you to look at this, insert, and Excel nowadays has map. So you see, it is already sensing that these three are location names and they are well known. So Excel is already bringing for you a chart of Africa, a map of Africa with the three countries highlighted. So immediately you don't need to say, I don't have QGIS software, I don't have ArcGIS software. You can use Excel also to map location names, and you see it is even bringing your scale here in terms of population. So you can see the more blue, the higher the population. And here it has taken up to 159, but maybe because you don't want 159, you just want the what? You only want the population for the three countries, not the total. You can see series name, it is picking on population, and then the series values, it is picking up. You don't want everything up to here. So when you are here, you want only this up to this. And when you do okay, now you see you are very much okay. Now you see the scale is now from 45 million to 60 million with without confusing it with the total number. So you can selectively map what you want with this scale already showing the different countries in different colors. And you can see the darker the blue shade, the higher the population. And you can see here that Tanzania, the highest, followed by Kenya and then Uganda. And you can also try to do that for the counties and their COVID numbers as of that time. And you try to see if it will, now it senses that these are location names in Kenya, and you see Nairobi is dark blue, and so is Mombasa here. You know, Mombasa is a very small county, and now the shade here shows the relative size, the relative numbers of COVID cases as of this time. And you can see these are some of the things you can easily do in Excel, and even change the chart title there to what you want it to be, maybe Kenya COVID shares by county. And then as other people are still crying about lack of QGIS software, lack of license for ArcGIS software, you may be coming from a small university, maybe it is just an upcoming Tomboya University College, but very fast you have used Excel and impress your boss when other people are still complaining, and nothing will stop you from making an impact. So I want to end here today because it was just a short session to introduce you to the powerful tools in Excel. And I'll now say it is your time to interact and comment or question, then we'll close. And this marks the end of the free sessions that are just introducing you to horizontal productivity skills. And if you want a deeper session, then we'll be able to organize later. So thank you for now. And may we have the questions, the comments, so that we can close for today. Being a Sunday, I know people want to rest and prepare for tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. So anyone would like to go first or to talk? Let me check if there's anything in the chat section. I think the best thing to do is to stop the sharing screen so that I can read the chat section comfortably. Okay, Kevin is appreciating He has been on and off because of network issues, but is appreciative. That is in the chats section. Any other comment, any other question before we conclude for today? Yeah, so we have covered today basics of formatting before you print out your work in Excel, how you can ensure that you have the borders right and you have the items you want to be on one page right. We have also covered how to carry out simple trigonometric calculations in Excel, paying attention to the unit, which in this case is radians for angular measurements, how to automatically use the formulae for summation, for ratios, to change to percentage, to format with comma separator, to be consistent with decimal places. We have also covered how to ensure that you have checks, conditional formatting to shade different cells depending on their values based on Boolean logic, whether greater than or less than or equal to. Then we have covered how to use modern Excel to show values by location. So as long as you have location data, location names well spelled out, Excel can intelligently sense the area you are mapping and produce a map for that area very easily. And with all this, you should be able to make an impact from tomorrow at your workplace, maybe presenting something to your supervisor, and the sky should be the limit. So we shall end it here unless there is any other urgent question or comment. So we'll only leave it open for 3 minutes so that we can close at 8:37.
No questions from me.
Good. So maybe Emmanuel, you already knew all this, huh?
Rob,
Yeah, you already knew all this, huh?
at least I'm learning. I appreciate that one.
Welcome.
Yeah, I
Imelda,
appreciate
you already
the
knew all this? Imelda,
Yes, Dr. Dero, I'm learning. I didn't even know I could get a map on Excel. It's like something I've learned today.
good. Sean Jura, I've not heard from you for a long time.
Oh yes, Dr. Dero, I'm here. I appreciate the presentation. There are many things I've learned that I didn't know. Yeah, like the calculations. I often do them on a calculator, then put it in, but now I know how.
Yeah, you are from USIU.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe let's hear from where. From where.
Yes, Dr. Dero, I've learned a lot today and the other previous days. In terms of calculations, those are new, and I'm glad I'm getting to know them earlier. Thank you very much.
Welcome. So far so good. We are going to end it here. So let's have it end here and then wish you a productive weekend. For those who are going to participate in student competitions, now you can even use your Excel to show where you want to collect plastics from Kenya. Maybe you have read about the plastic menace, and maybe from your literature review you have discovered Nairobi is contributing the highest, followed by maybe Nakuru, then Eldoret. So if you have those numbers, you can put them in Excel and just write the names Eldoret, Nakuru, what? Or if you want county by county, then you are Singishu. And you can use Excel now to show in different colors a heat map of the plastic menace across the country. You can use the same also to show gender ratio, male-female ratio across the counties. You can also use the same to show drug prevalence, drug abuse prevalence among youth in Excel without waiting to install ArcGIS or QGIS, and you can present a powerful comparative analysis of percentages of prevalence. And this is something that I believe is of immediate consumption. It is like the porridge you can get from Western Kenya, which is made of cassava. You have cassava flour there, a bit of lemon, some honey in it, and maybe, I don't know what you add, maybe some wimbi. That is ready for consumption. You don't even have to wait. In fact, the prayers should be shorter that time. That is how Excel is also giving you some ready to consume products which you have been missing out on for a long time. So thank you, and may you have a productive evening and a productive beginning to the new week. If you want to follow up on more of our mentorship sessions, you can always impact borderless. I'm going to post it on the chat section. You can be checking that website for Impact Borderless Digital. Impact Borderless Digital. Let me, so if you see the chat section, that website also has a lot enlightening you on what we do and our past sessions. So the sky is the limit. So thank you, and let's meet next time upon scheduling. If you are interested in any specific topic on education and skills development, on that website, there's a quick link, quick consultation link. You can send email or WhatsApp, and we can organize a session on that. So you can talk to your peers if they want a session that is specific to meeting their needs, then you can organize well in advance to have such a session. Thank you for today and have a good evening. So I'll stop recording now.